guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Kirsten and it's time for my March TBR game. Now, starting off this game, I have 5 books I need to try and fit into this TBR, and that is part of a month-long readathon that's being hosted by Elliot Brooks, who I'll of course have linked below. I'm not going to talk about what those 5 books are, that's going to come up in a separate video, and I'm not even going to tell you if I managed to fit them on. I'm just going to say how many I managed to fit on, and let's see if you can guess the books for this readathon. With this TBR game, it's very simple. I roll a 6 coloured sided dice. Each colour represents a different prompt, and if I roll the same colour twice, I have to roll again, and I roll a minimum of 6 times. As I'm filming this, I have 1 week left of February and I have 2 books left to read, so I don't need to take an extra book for this month, unless of course by the time March rolls around I haven't actually started the final book, in which case I will take an extra book from here that I have to read, and it has to be the first book I read in March. If that does happen, it's unlikely, but I will do that in my first weekly vlog for March. But from last month, we finished on 5 prompts that I have left up, and I need to replace it with an extra prompt. So let's see what the 6th prompt will be to start off with. New to me author. So with that out the way, let's get straight to roll number 1. Roll number 1. Purple. Romance. Okay, so roll number 1 was nice and easy, and it was a romance. I have gone with Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. This is the 2nd book in the Blood of Stars. I believe it's going to be a duology. The first book was Spin the Dawn, and I really love it. It is a Mulan inspired retelling, except instead of going to war, our main character is a tailor and there is a tailor's competition. It does actually help prevent a war. Weirdly enough, it all comes in together, but there's mythology and there is also love and magic, and it's just really nice. And I've been wanting to read this one for a little while now since I've got it, and I just love this cover. I think both the covers are absolutely stunning, and I really did enjoy her writing, so I'm really excited to see how the story continues, especially because at the end of it we did end on a bit of a cliffhanger, not knowing what's going to happen to our main character, so I'm looking forward to finding and figuring things out. Roll number 2. Blue. Over 500 pages. Then our 2nd roll was over 500 pages. And for this one, I am continuing on with the Faithful and Fallen series and reading Ruin. This is by John Gwynne, and it's an epic adult fantasy series, and we are following several main characters, and there is basically this prophecy that there is going to be this champion for the good god and the evil god, and there is going to be this god war that comes about. The first book kind of sets it up that things may not be quite as they seem, and the story continues. It's a brilliant, expansive series. The world building is phenomenal, the characters are amazing. If you like adult fantasy, if you liked Game of Thrones, give this a try because I think it's so good. And honestly, I'm preferring this to Game of Thrones considering I didn't even get past the 2nd book in that series. This is phenomenal. There is so much going on. There's politics involved, there's giants, there's magic, there's monsters. There is just so much that goes on in this, and you cannot help but feel for the characters, and whether they're good feelings or bad feelings toward the characters, it's just done so well. So yeah, I'm super excited to carry on with this series. Roll number 3. Orange. Animal on the cover. And the 3rd roll was Animal on the cover, and we're doing pretty well so far. I have gone with City of Ghosts by V.E. Schwab. This is her young adult slash middle grade series. I just think it's going to be a fun time. I enjoy Victoria Schwab's books. I've only had 1 proper 5-star read from her, and that was Addie LaRue, but all her other books tend to be around the 4-star mark, sometimes 3, though not that often, but I'm excited to pick this one up. It's a nice short story, and it does have a wee little cat on it. I don't know too much about it apart from the fact that our main character's parents are on this like TV show for haunted places, I think, but our main character can actually see ghosts or something like that. I could have that completely wrong, but I believe this is going to be a trilogy. I think the first 2 books are out and the 3rd book is either just been released or going to be released soon. Again, I could have that completely wrong, but I really liked it. I love the cover, and I'm just excited to see what I think of this one as well, which I'm going to say for all of these books, to be honest. That's why they're on my TBR. Roll number 4. Orange again. YA fantasy. My first re-roll, blue, anything. My second re-roll, blue, manga or graphic novel. And of course, I spoke too soon. I don't know why I thought that, because my February TBR was very nice to me and my January TBR was pretty good, that it will continue that way, because of course not, because roll number 4 ended up being 3 rolls. Ay. Anyway, the first one was YA fantasy, and for this I'm going to be reading All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace. This is a book that I recently got. It's only been released I think in February, and I am looking forward to this. This is the second book. Again, I think it's going to be a duology. The first book was All the Stars and Teeth, and we're in this world where it's kind of separated onto islands. Each island has their own magic, and as you know what your magic is, you have to go to that particular island. So it's an interesting world. We are following our main character, who has one of the strongest magics, and she has to prove that she has control over it to be able to rule over this world, and something goes terribly wrong, and then she starts learning things are not quite as it seems. We have mermaids, we have travelling stories, there's so much going on in this. The first book was a 4 stars. It's a good YA series, not the best out there, but it's a fun read. I'm expecting that for this one as well. Then my re-roll was anything, and that is anything on my TBR that I want to read, and so I've decided to be nice to myself and go with In an Absent Dream by Shauna Maguire. This is book 4 in the Wayward Children series. This is a series that I really do enjoy. They're all short stories, all no but larger than about 200 pages, and they're just so much fun. I really enjoy them. They're portal fantasies, so we're following children that, like Alice, went into Wonderland, but it's what happens when they come back. So we're in this little home for children who have been to these different places, and they have come back to our world, and it's how they're dealing with it. In the first one, In Every Heart a Doorway, we actually have some gruesome murders that happen, and we have to work out what is going on. And these little books afterwards, some of them continue on from that point, some of them are prequels following different characters that went to the school to find out where their world was. I've really enjoyed all of them. I think they're really good, quick reads, and each one Shauna Maguire is trying to get across a really important point, and it could be that the way you raise children is really important, how you shouldn't have them trying to fit a certain mold that you think they should be, that children should be themselves. We also have a book that focuses on like fat shaming and things like that, and I just think it is done heavy-handed, I will give it that, but I do think they are important points that should be talked about more, and I really do enjoy these portal fantasies. So it's one I'm very excited to read, and Bobbie, hopefully you'll be pleased with me that I picked this one. I'm gonna finally continue with it. And then at least the third roll, or the second re-roll, was nice to me because I got manga or graphic novel. I have gone with volume 3 of the Still Prince graphic novels by V. Schwab. This is a prequel to A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I really enjoyed the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. We're set in a world where there are 4 Londons, but 3 that you can really go to, and we have Red London, White London, and I believe Black London. It's been a while since I've read that series. I really need to reread it. So this is a prequel, and we're following the king from one of the Londons in A Darker Shade of Magic as he became a king. So as he's currently a prince, and the things that he had to do, and what earned him the name of Still Prince. So I really do enjoy these. They're really fun. I like graphic novels. I will say that I do sometimes find these jump around a bit much compared to other graphic novels that I've read, but it's Victoria Schwab. I'm gonna pick up her graphic novels because I'm interested in the stories, and I think doing graphic novels as a way to expand on the books that she's already written is a really great concept, so I'm enjoying it. Roll number 5. Purple again. And that's bright colour on the cover. Reroll, pink. It's a new to me author. And of course, roll number 5 was another reroll, and the first one being a bright colour on the cover. And for this one I have gone for One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. This is a book that I've been really excited to read. It is a YA murder mystery, and that's a genre that I'm really starting to get into. I definitely want to read more YA murder mystery, and it does have red on the cover. So I'm going to count that as a bright colour because, well, this is my game, so it can count. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I believe it's where 4 children go into detention and only 3 come out alive, and you have to work out what the hell's gone on. So I'm excited for it. If it's anything like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I know that I'm really going to enjoy this. Like I said, it's a new genre that I definitely want to try and branch out more into. So if you have any YA murder mystery recommendations, please put them below because I'm always looking for more. And then we had a new to me author, and for this one I've gone for one that's probably going to split the crowd a little bit more, and that is a classic of Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Sorry, I butcher names on this channel, I apologise. And this is a classic that I haven't read, and the reason why I wanted to pick it up is because last year I read My Dark Vanessa, and that was a really impactful contemporary read all about this girl that was groomed by her English teacher, and there are so many references to the story of Lolita, and I was like, I really want to know what these references are. I haven't read this book before. I know obviously the base story of this, which is a person that I believe he kidnaps a child or the daughter of the woman that he was living with, and it's very disturbing. I know it's a dark, disturbing read, but I have made it a thing to read more classics this year and to read where our stories originated from. So if I've read a retelling, I want to read the original classic. And as I read My Dark Vanessa, I do want to read Lolita to see where it came from, but I'm expecting this to be quite a difficult read, so I don't know. I have heard some people review this book and they've given it high stars because it's well written, but have prefaced it with it's a difficult read. Like I said, I'm going to give it a try. I don't know what to expect, whether I'm going to be able to appreciate it for the writing or what we have taken from it and how we have rewritten this story in other ways. I don't know. I really don't know. Let me know if you have read it, if it's something that again you can say is yes, disturbing but is well written. I'm interested in people's thoughts on this one. So like I said, it's probably going to split the crowd a little bit, but I do want to read the classics just to see where all our stories come from. Okay, sixth and hopefully last roll. Green. A dark cover. And the final roll for my March TBR was dark colour on the cover. I have gone with The Last Namsara by Kristin Cicarelli. Again, I butcher names, I'm sorry. And this is a series that I picked up because honestly, it just seems a bit interesting. It's a YA series. I'm expecting it to be along the vein of like Ash Princess, that sort of YA tropey read. In this one, we are following our main character whose father has said that she has to have this marriage. So it's got to be an arranged marriage unless she kills a dragon. Which sounds absolutely ridiculous to me, but there we go. We have dragons in this world, and I don't know where it's going to go from there. I have no idea. I just know that it's a YA tropey read, or at least that's what I'm going into it expecting. Plus, I really liked this cover. I love all the gold foiling on it. I thought it was really nice, and to be fair, I don't actually have many books with dragons in at all, so I thought it might be worth trying them and see if it's something that I like. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem to be something that I gravitate towards, so this is me trying. So there we have it, my little March stack. Well, to be fair, it's not little, but I have broken it up with a few shorter reads, so it should be at least manageable. And I forgot to mention, so I'm going to quickly cut this in now, I did manage to fit 4 of the books from the readathon onto my TBRs. There's only one that I haven't managed to fit on. Can you tell which ones they are that I managed to fit on so far? If you haven't seen that video, I don't know when it's going to come out. It's either going to come out just before this one or just after this one. But do let me know what your guesses are for those 4 books if you haven't watched the other video. And now let's cut back to what I was saying. But do let me know if you've read any of those books, what's on your March TBR for the month. And of course, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it that thumbs up and subscribe. My social media links will be linked below, as well as anyone that I've mentioned on this channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one.